Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're diving into the world of investing,
Are we?
but specifically a strategy
Hmm.
that's called dollar cost averaging. You
Yes.
may have heard of it.
Right.
Um, but we're going to go
Yeah, we're going the deep.
way beyond the basics
Absolutely.
here.
Yeah.
I think you're really going to enjoy this one.
And I think so too.
Okay, so
Yeah.
dollar cost averaging,
So,
for anyone who's new to this,
yeah.
let's start by defining it.
Well, at its core, DCA is all about taking the guesswork out of timing the market.
Okay.
You decide on an investment, let's say a stock or an index fund,
Mm-hmm.
and you invest a fixed amount of money at regular intervals.
Okay,
Could be monthly, could be quarterly,
right.
whatever works for you.
Got it.
The key is you stick to that schedule no matter what the market is doing.
So even if the market takes a nosedive and everybody's panicking,
Exactly.
you just keep investing that same amount.
Yeah, you just keep calmly investing that same amount.
Wow. Okay.
And that's where the magic of DCA really starts to unfold.
Okay.
Because when the market is down,
Mm-hmm.
your fixed investment buys you more shares.
Oh,
When the market is up, you get fewer shares
makes sense.
for the same amount of money.
Okay.
And over time,
Yeah.
this strategy can actually lower your average cost per share.
So it's kind of like buying your favorite coffee on sale
Exactly.
when the price drops.
Exactly.
You stock up.
Yeah,
But
then-
instead of coffee, we're
That's
talking
right.
about
You're building up
building an investment portfolio.
your investment portfolio. That's right.
Okay, I like that.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
We've taken the example of investing $1,200 over 12 months.
Okay.
That's $100 each month,
Mm-hmm.
and we've plugged in the actual stock prices of a popular index fund from the past year.
Okay.
And guess what?
What?
The difference in the number of shares you would have accumulated using DCA versus investing that $1,200 all at once is significant.
So you're telling me just by spreading out my investment over a year, I could end up with more shares?
Potentially, yes.
That sounds almost too good to be true.
It's all about leveraging the ups and downs of the market to your advantage.
Okay.
See, trying to time the market perfectly, buying low and selling high is incredibly difficult,
Yeah.
even for seasoned investors.
Right.
DCA takes the emotion out of the equation and lets math do the heavy lifting.
I'm starting to see why people are so excited about dollar cost averaging.
Right.
But I'm sure there are some drawbacks.
Oh, of course.
Right. No investment strategy is perfect.
You're absolutely right. DCA isn't a magic bullet, and it's crucial to understand the potential downsides before you jump in.
Okay.
One of the main criticisms is that in a consistently rising market, DCA might underperform compared to investing a lump sum at the very beginning.
Oh, so if the market is just on a tear going up, 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 I might be better off just investing all my money at once and riding that wave.
That's the theory.
Yeah, okay.
You'd be fully invested from the get-go and capture all those initial gains. Gotcha. With DCA, you'd be averaging in as the price climbs,
Okay.
potentially missing out on some of that upward momentum.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
So it comes down to your risk tolerance and your outlook on the market.
exactly.
If you're bullish and convinced the market's only going up,
Right.
then a lump sum investment might be more appealing.
Yeah.
But if you're more cautious or you expect some volatility, DCA could be the safer bet.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing this deep dive,
Yeah.
to give you all the information you need to make the best decision for your own financial goals.
Awesome.
But before we go any further, let's address another potential drawback of DCA.
Okay.
Transaction fees.
Yeah.
If you're investing small amounts frequently, those fees can add up and eat into your returns, especially over the long term.
So finding a low-fee investment platform is crucial if you're planning on using a DCA strategy.
Absolutely. It's all about optimizing your approach to make sure those fees don't negate the potential benefits of DCA.
Got it. So low fees consistency,
Yes.
a bit of patience. Uh-huh.
Sounds like a recipe for dollar cost averaging success.
Don't forget the most important ingredient,
Oh, which is...
a clear understanding of the risks involved.
Okay.
Because remember, no investment strategy can guarantee profits.
Right.
The value of your investments can fluctuate, and there's always a chance you could lose money.
Good point. So DCA helps to manage risk,
It does.
but it can't eliminate it entirely.
Right.
We need to be aware of that.
Exactly. And that brings us to the heart of what we're trying to do here,
Okay.
helping you make informed decisions about your investments.
Right.
We want you to understand the nuances of DCA,
Yeah.
both the good and the bad, so you can determine if it aligns with your individual circumstances and goals.
Well said. Okay, so we've covered the basics of what dollar cost averaging is, how it works,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the potential pros and cons.
Right.
But now I'm curious, in what specific situations does DCA really shine?
That's a great question.
When is it the most powerful tool in your investment arsenal? Yeah, that's a great question, and that's where we're headed next.
All right.
There are certain scenarios where DCA can be particularly effective, and we're going to break those down for you
Love it.
after a quick break, so stay tuned.
Can't wait.
Right.
All right, so we've laid the groundwork for understanding dollar cost averaging.
Right.
Now let's get into the nitty-gritty
Yeah.
of when the strategy really shines.
Yeah.
You mentioned there are specific scenarios
Uh-huh.
where DCA can be especially effective.
Yes.
What comes to mind?
One of the most compelling use cases for DCA is in volatile markets.
Okay.
Think of a market that's swinging up and down like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Trying to perfectly time your entry and exit in that kind of environment
Yeah.
is incredibly risky.
Oh, yeah. You're basically playing roulette with your investments.
Exactly.
Wow.
DCA provides a more measured, strategic approach
Okay.
by investing consistently,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of the market's daily whims.
All right.
You're essentially averaging out your purchase price over time, mitigating the risk of buying high and selling low.
It's like having a steady hand in a shaky market,
Exactly.
which can be especially valuable for investors who might get spooked by those sudden drops,
Yes,
be tempted to sell at a loss.
Yeah, it takes a certain level of discipline to stay the course when the market is turbulent,
Right.
and DCA can provide that structure and peace of mind.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, another scenario where DCA often comes into play is with retirement accounts, like 401ks and IRAs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're consistently contributing to those accounts over many years,
Right.
usually with each paycheck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And DCA ensures that those contributions are steadily invested,
Mm-hmm.
building up your retirement nest egg bit by bit,
Okay.
regardless of the market's short-term fluctuations.
So it's like setting it and forgetting it,
Exactly.
knowing that your money is consistently working for you.
Right.
That can be a huge relief for people who don't want to be constantly checking the market
Right.
and stressing about every dip.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so.
And for anyone who's just starting out on their investment journey,
Mm-hmm.
DCA can be a particularly appealing strategy.
Oh, why is that?
Well, for someone new to investing,
Mm-hmm.
the idea of trying to time the market perfectly can be incredibly daunting.
Right.
DCA removes that pressure by encouraging a more disciplined, hands-off approach.
Yeah.
You're not trying to pick winners and losers.
Right.
You're simply investing consistently in a diversified portfolio
Okay.
and letting time work its magic.
It's like building good financial habits from the start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about creating a system that works for you,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't have a deep understanding of the market's intricacies.
Right.
DCA can be that system.
Got it.
Now, we've talked a lot about the upsides of dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
It's essential to remember that no investment strategy is a guaranteed path to riches.
Right. We touched on some of the drawbacks earlier,
We did.
but it's worth reiterating those for our listeners just to ensure we're painting a complete picture.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the main caveats with DCA is that it might underperform in a consistently rising market.
Okay.
If the investment you're dollar cost averaging into keeps going up,
Mm-hmm.
someone who invested a lump sum at the very beginning could end up with higher returns.
Because they would have been fully invested from the start, capturing all of that upward momentum.
That's right. Yeah.
With DCA, you'd be gradually increasing your position as the price climbs,
Right.
potentially missing out on some of those gains.
Gotcha.
And it's also important to remember those pesky transaction fees.
Yeah.
If you're investing small amounts frequently,
Yeah.
those fees can accumulate over time, especially if you're not using a low-cost platform.
Right.
So choosing the right investment platform is crucial when implementing a DCA strategy.
It's all about optimizing your approach to make sure those fees don't eat away at your potential returns.
Exactly.
Now, before we wrap things up, I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Imagine you had started DCAing into a broad market index fund, say, 5 years ago.
How do you think your returns would compare to someone who invested a lump sum at the same time?
That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
It really highlights the importance of considering the long-term implications of different investment strategies.
Right.
Of course, we can't predict the future,
Sure.
but looking at historical market data can give us some valuable insights.
Okay.
In some cases, lump sum investing might have yielded slightly higher returns, especially if the market experienced a prolonged bull run.
Mm-hmm.
But in other cases, DCA might have provided a smoother ride, mitigating losses during periods of volatility.
So it all depends on the specific market conditions during that 5-year period.
Precisely.
Okay.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer, which is why it's crucial to understand your own risk tolerance and investment goals.
Right. It's about choosing the strategy that aligns best with your individual circumstances and financial outlook.
Exactly.
Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
We've delved into the mechanics of DCA, explored its pros and cons, and even considered specific scenarios where it might be a particularly effective strategy. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you found it valuable.
Very valuable.
Until next time, keep those knowledge-seeking gears turning.
Keep learning.